Yes, he definitely needs to be crossed.
Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the new 2021 Ford Bronco because I finally had a chance to see it in person. Now this is going to be a little bit of a different video just because I was able to see it in person, but there was a ton of people at the event that I was at, and so I couldn't really just like sit there and do like a proper walk around. So what I did is I basically got as much footage of the Broncos as I could, and so yeah, I'll kind of just place that over this video while we talk about the new Bronco, and let's just get right into it. Now before we get into the Bronco itself, let's actually talk about the event. So I thought it was a really cool event that was put on. I actually got to meet quite a few interesting people while I was there. The coolest person I got to meet was named Glenn Walker. So I'm going to include his contact information. I actually took a little camera shot of his business cards on this really cool Ford Ranger he brought out. He is the director of sales for Ford Accessories. Really awesome person to be able to meet because now when I want to do aftermarket parts on my Bronco, I'll just be able to reach out to him. So yeah, that was really cool. And he gave me some cool stuff to be able to show you guys. So he actually gave me the top material for the Bronco. So these are the different tops you'll basically be able to get with the Ford accessory stuff, with the soft tops. So this is kind of the first one. Hopefully that kind of pops up onto camera. And I'll probably use this for videos in the future. And then you can see the other one, material-wise. Yeah, it was just really cool that he gave these to me. And then we've got the last one, which obviously is see-through, but it's really cool to be able to get that. And then obviously we have all of our Bronco stickers. Hopefully that's popping up onto the camera. That was really cool. And yes, we have a Bronco hat. Now I really don't wear hats, but I mean I still have this if I ever want to wear a hat, I guess. So I mean, we got that really awesome event, and yeah, it was really cool meeting all those people, especially Glenn. He was a really cool guy to talk to, and if you're looking at getting accessories for your Ford, definitely reach out to him. Let's get to the fun stuff, and that is the Broncos. So first off, it took quite a bit of time just to even be able to see the Bronco. There's quite a few people, and then there's a bunch of COVID restrictions. So because of those restrictions, they could only show so many people the Bronco at a time. So I was waiting in line for quite some time. Again, I did get some footage. I didn't want to get in people's way, so like I tried to film as quick as I possibly could. There was a couple things I was disappointed about though with the event itself. It was a really good event. There's like a lot of fun stuff with that, and I feel like they executed it perfectly. They just didn't bring the right vehicles, in my opinion. So the two Broncos they brought were both, I mean, you guys can see in the videos, were nice packages, but they weren't the packages that everyone wants to know about. So both of them were soft tops. I feel like most people are going to get a hard top. I mean, you guys can let me know in the comment section below if you think I'm wrong, but I think most people are going to get the hard top. And then they were both four doors. Now, most people will get the four-door, but it'd still be cool to see a two-door. And then both of them had 32-inch tires. Neither of them had the Sasquatch package, obviously, with the 35s. And obviously the added ground clearance, higher suspension, all that kind of stuff. And so that was the only thing I was disappointed about, is not being able to see the Bronco package that everyone wants to see, which is the big bad boy Sasquatch package. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. But what about the Bronco itself? Now the Bronco itself was actually really nice. Now there was two packages. There was the the Black Diamond, and I actually gonna have to go look at my footage to see what the other one was. It was a little bit more loaded up interior wise. For some reason I don't know if it's the heat today, but my brain is just completely fried. Can't think of the name on it, but more loaded up interior-wise. And I zoomed in on the badges on both of them, so you guys will be able to see the badge. But the first one kind of had more of a street setup for the tires, and then it was more luxury interior-wise, so it had really nice seats. It had a bunch of nice controls. You guys can see in like the center stack and all that, there was a bunch of controls for like the infotainment system, climate system, all that kind of stuff. Just like a bunch of nice luxury items on it. Whereas the other one, the Black Diamond, and again, at least I can remember that one was a little bit more of a base package. It still had pretty nice seats, still had a pretty nice interior, but it didn't have the cool LED lights like the other one for the headlights, and it just didn't look quite as nice interior wise, but it still looked nice. The thing that was interesting though is one of them had the 2.7 liter V6 with a 10-speed automatic, and that was the more loaded up one. Now the Black Diamond had the 4-cylinder with the manual transmission, so it was at least cool to be able to see the two different transmissions. You guys will be able to, again, see that in the video with those. But at least seeing the Bronco in person was pretty cool. So aside from not being able to see the Sasquatch package, what else do I think about the Bronco? So again, these were pre-production units, so obviously they weren't perfect. I think exterior-wise, they look really good stylistically. Now, having 32-inch tires and not having the suspension lift for the 35s, they kind of look sad. And again, this is just my personal opinion. if you're gonna get a Bronco, right, depending on what you're gonna use it for will determine what you get. But if I'm gonna say the Ben Hardy thing, which I'm gonna say it, if you're gonna get a Bronco, please get the Sasquatch package, because those Broncos, again, they looked good with the whole design, but they just didn't have a very good stance on them, and so they just didn't have a crazy presence. Like, when I keep picturing the Bronco in my mind, I keep picturing this crazy aggressive presence, and then the ones that I saw, again, little fender flares, little tires, not that high up off the ground, which is more daily drivable, but it just doesn't look cool. So yeah, that was kind of the thing that I noticed. So if you haven't ordered one yet, or if you haven't had your order confirmed yet, where like you can't change the options on it anymore, get the Sasquatch package. It's gonna look so much better. It's totally worth it. But aside from that, the front end looks amazing. I love the look of the hoods. Something that I noticed compared to a Wrangler is it felt much better from a build quality standpoint. Now, the new Wrangler is very nice, but everything just felt more solid on the Bronco. And so I feel like from a driving perspective, again, I haven't driven one yet, but I'm guessing from a driving perspective, it's just gonna drive a lot more solid, if that makes sense. The Wrangler, you kind of get all the rattling and all that kind of stuff, floats all over the place with the suspension and the steering and all that. I have a sneaking suspicion the Bronco's gonna not do all that kind of stuff. It'll be a little bit more floaty and a little bit more rattly than a regular car, but I don't think it'll be as much as the Wrangler. Just feeling the door panels and all that kind of stuff with the vehicle, it just felt more solid compared to a Wrangler. And something that I noticed was really cool is the mirrors are on the front. They're on the body. They're not on the doors. I thought that was really cool. I know you guys are probably gonna be like, well, duh, we already know that. I purposefully haven't researched a bunch into the Bronco. Yes, I ordered one. I ordered the most loaded one you could get, but I purposefully haven't researched a bunch into it because I want to be able to have candid impressions when I review it for you guys versus having all of these impressions from other automotive reviewers and all that kind of stuff. I try to not do that. So when I actually go and see stuff, it's like my genuine impression for it. So I thought the mirrors were cool. I love the look of the doors. The four-door looks really good. I was a little bit worried, but the four-door actually looks really good. The two-door, I think, will ultimately be the one that kind of looks a little bit cooler just because it has that kind of more off-road type vibe. And it'll be better off-road because of the shorter wheelbase and everything. It's quite a bit shorter, but the four-door is more practical. More people are going to buy the four-door, especially me being here in Utah. There's a ton of families here in Utah. Buying a four-door is kind of the route to go from a resale perspective. The two-door will hold its value, but there's just more buyers for a four-door. And space was great. Something that I noticed is kind of weird is the back seats were higher than the front seats, and I think that's because they wanted to like give better visibility to the back seat passengers. That was kind of weird with the Bronco that I noticed. And then headroom was great in the Bronco. Obviously, I didn't like jump into it or anything. I was just trying to film quickly, but I saw quite a few people sit in it that were significant, like well over 6 foot, and they were able to fit in it. So yeah, it seems like headroom's great with the Bronco. In terms of like the sitting and everything, it seems like all of that is really good with the Bronco interior wise. And then the storage space in the back, pretty similar to a Wrangler. That was pretty cool. And then the soft top, in terms of getting it off, that was a really easy thing. I actually saw them do it. Sorry that I didn't get footage of it. I kind of was like paying attention and looking what they're doing with the soft top instead of filming. So yeah, that was kind of my bad. But yeah, the soft top mechanism, all that, I thought that was pretty cool how that came off. But again, hard top I think is the way to go. The soft top Bronco looks okay, but the hard top versions of vehicles always look better. Think Wrangler, like the soft top looks okay, but it doesn't look as good as the hard top. Or if you have like everything off, that obviously looks really cool. They did take the door off on one of the Broncos, which it looked like it was really easy to do that. But again, the door felt solid. Like even though you can take it off, it still had that like nice solid feel. Will I take my Bronco off-road with the doors off and everything? Probably not. Cleaning off a dirty interior, obviously the Bronco can do it. It's not fun. Like I can tell you right now, it's just not a fun thing. So I'll probably take everything off when I'm driving around town, but like when I take it off-road, I'll probably have everything closed up because choking on sand and having to clean off the interior, just not exactly a fun experience. But aside from all of that stuff, overall, I guess, I think the new Bronco looks really good. I'm really excited for it to come out. Again, I was just a little bit disappointed that I couldn't see the Sasquatch package. I was really, like, again, excited to be able to see the beadlock wheels with the 35s, with the Bilstein position-sensitive shocks. That's the thing I'm most excited about with the Bronco is those shocks. I want to see how those do off-road. And then also just being able to see one of the Broncos that has the front and rear lockers and all that kind of stuff. That would have been cool because you guys know I ordered a first edition, so mine's going to come with everything. It's going to have the 2.7, it's going to have the position sensitive shocks, it's going to have the front and rear lockers, everything. And that's why I got the first edition, is because it comes with everything. It's really unique because, again, if you guys have looked at the Bronco ordering, if you get, I think it's the Wild Track package, that one's kind of like your high speed package. And then you have, I think it's the, I might be, sorry if I'm wrong on this, I think it was the Badlands. So one of those packages that's just kind of like the front and rear lockers and everything. It's a little bit more aggressive. And that's kind of like your rock crawling. And then the the Wild Track was kind of like your high speed, whereas the first edition is everything. So I think the first edition long term is going to be the package that holds its value the best, and is going to be the one that people pretty much look for because it's got everything. But overall, I think the new Bronco's great. I'm extremely excited for the new Bronco to come out. And if you are still on the fence of ordering one or not, obviously I'll have reviews that come out. But I mean, just my initial impression, seeing it in person, I think it looks better than a Wrangler. I think the interior is nicer than a Wrangler. The build quality feels nicer than a Wrangler, and this was a pre-production vehicle. And obviously, the kind of like performance figures suggest it's going to be nicer, right? Like with my first edition, with that 2.7 V6, 310 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque, that's really strong. Yes, you have the new SRT Wrangler, but guess what? They pretty much canceled production on that, and nobody's going to get them. And so most Wranglers are going to have the V6 or the 2-liter. That new hybrid powertrain's really cool in the Wrangler. But obviously, long-term reliability on a hybrid powertrain versus a obviously just regular turbocharged powertrain, you got that going for it. But yeah, I'm just overall really excited for the new Bronco. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry that it was kind of all over the place. I thought that maybe I'd be able to do a walk around, but once I got there I realized I couldn't. So I kind of am doing the best that I can given the circumstances and all of that. But hopefully my Bronco will be here soon. Plenty of reviews to come in the future. If you happen to be stopping in for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe, comment down below what you think, and I'll see all of you in the next video.